You probably noticed how hard the process to change the Australian Constitution is. We have seen already how it demands not only an absolute majority in each House of Parliament, but also a majority of all of the people of Australia and a majority of all the states. Without this double majority, the proposed constitutional amendment will fail. If you haven't seen the video where I talk about it, now is the time to do it by clicking on the top right corner. And if you don't want to miss any of our videos, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell sign. This double majority has been the focus point of a lot of heated discussions, even before the drafting of the Constitution. And that is why in 1967, in the very last words of this book here, The Australian Federalism in the Courts, Geoffrey Sawyer said the following: "Constitutionally speaking, Australia is the frozen continent." Hello everyone, my name is Renato Costa, this is Aussie Law, and today I'm going to make a short video with some facts about constitutional amendment in Australia. So, let's see some stats and facts about this frozen continent. The last time the Constitution was changed was in 1977. That's more than 40 years of no formal constitutional amendment in Australia. But it does not mean that the parliamentarians haven't tried. There have been 44 attempts to change the Australian Constitution. The first attempt was in 1906 and it passed the double majority requirement. The proposed amendment received royal assent in April 1907 and it altered section 13 of the Australian Constitution. The last change in 1977 carried out 3 alterations in the text of the Constitution. It changed sections 15, 72 and 128 of the Australian Constitution. In total, only 8 out of 44 referenda were approved according to the requirements of section 128. That's a pretty low number. It's a success rate of only 18% of all of the attempts. Here's the list of all the proposals and their dates. And here are the provisions of the Constitution that were altered by those amendments. You can check both of these tables in the link to the Australian Constitution that I've left in the description of this video. The most successful referendum ever was the one in 1967. It sought the alteration of the Constitution so as to omit certain words relating to the people of the Aboriginal race in any state so that Aboriginals are to be counted in reckoning the population. The turnout of people voting in that referendum in 1967 was almost 94%. And the results were an overwhelming majority in all of the 6 states and an overall majority nationally of 91.5% of the people. After that referendum, section 127 of the Australian Constitution was repealed and some words in section 51(26) of the Constitution were excluded. And finally, a lot of people think that Australia is the frozen continent because of the difficulties imposed by section 128 and the double majority requirement. However, the double majority requirement was only responsible for the failure of 5 proposals that otherwise received a national approval. All other 31 amendments failed for other reasons. So, what are these other reasons? The main one relates to partisanship or a lack of bipartisan support for the proposed amendment. When the parties are aligned, it's very hard to convince the electorate to vote contrary to the proposed amendment. Another impeding reason for changing the Constitution has been certain concerns by states with the fear of centralization of powers. And sometimes Australians just don't want to change the Constitution. Why change it? Just leave it like it is. So it's not all on the double majority requirement, you know? Well, these are some facts that I think are interesting about this constitutional change in Australia. I hope you learned something new, something different. If you did, leave a comment below telling me what it was. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel and like this video before you go. And I hope to see you soon. Until then, ciao.